All right. Uh, so I felt like making another video. I wasn't terribly happy with my last one, if I'm being honest. I was in a bad mindset, I feel like, and I didn't quite get to the points I wanted to get to, and so it ended up being like 15 minutes of me just kind of talking about how shitty my day had been at my first day at my new job. So this is going to be a bit of a gear shift here. Um, what I want to talk about today is the stimulus package that's going through. It's a little bit old news. Is a little bit old news at this point. You get to see my lovely little ad for Ultra Sabers down there because I'm a nerd. But I want to talk about one particular aspect of the kind of COVID relief plan. It's sort of not really a headline right now. The big kind of headlines right now are mostly about how Trump's impeachment trial started today, and I have thoughts on this, and I haven't really had a good opportunity to record and put out a video on it. Um, I I, I kind of just pulled up this article as sort of like a window dressing. I don't really plan on going through it, but I so I want to be sure to give Biden and the administration credit where it's due, right? Like I obviously it's not going to be a Bernie Sanders administration, as much as that would have been wonderful. That didn't happen. Instead, we get Joe Biden of all people. Um, I try to give credit where it's due, and Biden has done some good things so far. Um, but this is not one of them. There was a video I saw. It was on Twitter or YouTube or something. Um, it was of Biden and Warnock and Ossoff and Harris on the campaign trail, and they were all promising across the board. It was something to the effect of $2,000 stimulus checks are going to be in the mail the first week of office, right? The first week of the new Congress, we're going to have $2,000 checks going out. And of course, it's old news at this point. This is like a 3 or 4 week old article at this point that we're getting $1,400 instead. Now, I myself am a dependent over the age of 21, or no, over the age of 17. I am 21. So I haven't qualified for the last two stimulus packages. I didn't qualify for the 1,200, and I didn't qualify for the 600. So this will be the first one I get if it does in fact extend to adult dependents. So that will be nice. But I just want to express my frustration because I know this is surprising, but actually, let's do a little bit of math here. All right, we're gonna pull up our handy dandy calculator right here. Now, if the numbers 2,000 and 1,400 were the same, then not statistically, logically speaking, we could subtract one from the other and end up with a result of 0. So here we go. 2,000 minus 1,400 equals. Oh, look at that! It's not 0. Oh no. Yeah. So $2,000 is not $1,400. um, Now this is really frustrating because there was this big kind of frenzy, right? As soon as I think it was I don't want to give credit to Trump for being the first to suggest $2,000 stimulus checks, but that was the first I heard from it. Was Trump like tweeted some insane shit about it, and then everyone was piling on. AOC, Pelosi, everyone was like, "Oh wow, yeah, $2,000 checks. President Trump is being based for once. Let's all get this $2,000 check passed." And it didn't happen. We got 600 instead. And this notion of a $2,000 check, I mean, it kind of popped up when the talks were indicating it was going to be 600, and when that got increased to 2,000, I was like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need that $2,000 per person. Hey, why not make it make it a recurring payment while we're at it? But regardless, the $600 checks went out. As far as I'm aware, those already went out. Those people already have those checks. Um, and after it was clear that the $600 checks were going out, even after the $600 checks, some of them had gone out, there was still Biden and Ossoff and Warnock on the campaign trail saying $200 checks, or not 200, $2,000 checks. They're coming as long as we win these Senate races, as long as we get COVID relief passed in the Senate. You're going to get a $2,000 check in the first week of the administration. Um, a $2,000 check, not a $1,400 check to supplement the 600 and then add up to 2,000. No, we were promised $2,000 checks, and it frustrates me when I see progressives, particularly. I know the left is infamous for infighting, but it frustrates me greatly when I see people defend this. Like, this is the kind of walking back, semantic bullshit that that is gonna happen, and we need to push back on it. We can't be like, oh, well, that's okay. It's obviously meant to supplement and bring the total up to 2,000. No, we need to fucking start with the 2,000, right? When you come to the table to negotiate with any Republicans that might want to negotiate, you come to the table with a proposition saying, okay, here, $2,000 checks, talk us down from it. Hey, start with the 2,000 and then move down to 1,400. Don't start with the 1,400, because then you have the chance to get talked down to 1,000. I think when Biden met with some senators a couple of weeks ago, he was talking to them about possibly lowering it to 1,000. We know that didn't end up happening, but it's so strange to me that this is the optical game they want to play. It's so strange that we could easily give $2,000 checks to everybody. We can do it, okay? The 1.9 trillion is functionally a made up number. Nobody who isn't a like multi 10 to multi 100 billionaire can conceive of this number. This is a fake number. Like, you could easily take this 1.9 trillion and say it's 3 trillion, right? And give everybody this extra $600 and get these $1,400 in the stimulus payments. You can do that. That's just a thing that we're able to do. We have budget reconciliation, have control of all of the government. There's no reason we can't do that. So why then do we already not cater, but kind of seed ground to conservatives who all of a sudden magically care about the deficit again and say, okay, well, we're not going to go as crazy as to go for the 2,000. We're going to just kind of go with this 1,400. You know, we're going to be reasonable. We're going to be fiscally responsible here. It baffles me. It frustrates me. I'm not happy about it. Uh, it frustrates me to see people defend this, because then it starts to feel like, okay, now we're just getting into defending everything Biden does territory, you know. Um, I wish I would see more pushback on this, because this is the kind of bullshit right here that led to Trump in the first place. This is the kind of bullshit that happened under Obama, and an abundance of appealing to across the aisle bipartisanship, an abundance of trying to be uncontroversial. Um, and ultimately, that is what led people to be frustrated enough to take a gamble on a populist like Trump. Now, I have no love for Trump. I despised Trump. And I don't want to see Trump come back again. And Trump's going to come back again in 2024. Or Josh Hawley is going to come around in 2024. Or Tom Cotton's going to come around in 2024. Uh, because of shit like this. This is the shit we need to push back on. We need to say, okay, Orange Man is in fact bad. Orange Man's out of office now. So now we have a Democratic president, Democratic Congress entirely, um, minus Joe Manchin, but that's a different story. I think, did I talk about that previously? I feel like I did at some point. Uh, yeah, I did in my my Georgia Senate election video, but now is the time to look at this whole snafu with the stimulus and say, okay, Trump didn't make the situation better. Trump made it worse, right? Biden is not making things worse, but what is he doing to make things better? Now is the time when we can take the things we know as leftists are wrong with liberalism and with liberal neoliberal ideology and say this is how neoliberalism fails to address the problems of society. So how do we uh, how if obviously conservatism slash fascism is not the problem, obviously whatever the Democrats are doing, or wait, no, oh god, I misspoke. Obviously the fascists and the conservatives aren't solving the problem. Obviously the Democrats aren't meaningfully solving the problems. So I think that's an opportunity for us to move people leftward because the far right and the far right isn't helping anybody. The center slash right leaning aren't helping anybody. So that just leaves all of the left as a possible opportunity to help people. You know, if Bernie Sanders were the president of the United States right now, we'd have those $2,000 checks. We'd have recurring $2,000 monthly payments. Like, it, this is this is a broken promise. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. This is a broken promise. Like, this is just a demonstration of a lie that Biden and Harris and the two Democratic Senate candidates in Georgia told on the campaign trail. And I know it's a meme at this point to say when Democrats do something good, it wasn't good enough and fuck the Democrats. But I mean, kind of fuck the Democrats on this one. We could have had these $2,000 checks on top of the 600 that already went out, and instead we're not. Instead, we're playing this kind of semantic bullshit. Like, well, if you add the 600 from before to the 1,400 now, then you get 2,000. You know, it's it's kind of bullshit, and I'm not happy about it. But that's kind of just my 2 cents about it. It's a kind of going back to what I said in my video about the capital thing. It's not really anything that hasn't already been said, but I just felt like kind of airing my thoughts about it because this is kind of the only platform on which I bother airing my thoughts about things. I don't really use Twitter. I use Reddit, but there's sort of an anonymity there, and voices don't really get heard there. Not that my voice will necessarily get heard on the YouTube channel as small as I have, but hey, we might get there someday. Um, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of all I've got. This is probably a pretty short one. What do we got here? Yeah, this is a pretty short one. But if you liked it, be sure to like it, leave a comment telling me what you liked, or maybe give me an idea for another video, because it's been almost 2 weeks since my last one, and that is largely for lack of ideas to make videos about. So tell me what you want to see a video of next, and subscribe. Do that. That's a thing you could do. Yeah, no, I'll see you guys in the next one.